Hey guys, welcome back to Burnin' Rubber Garage. What we're going to work on today is this right here, the old 97 Suburban. Seems like after one issue gets fixed, we have another. This one was a little bit scarier though. This one, the ABS is acting up, and I think it's the wheel speed sensor at the front. Yeah, we just put those new brakes on. I don't know if it got bumped, jostled, or what, but I went to go stop, and it's done it a few times. You'll hear a little pulsation, but the other day we were making a run somewhere in it, and I hit the brakes, and all I could hear was the ABS going and it didn't want to stop. All of a sudden I pumped it a few times, and I don't know if that helped or what. It finally stopped. We almost rear-ended somebody because this vehicle thought the ABS needed to kick in at that point, which is very frustrating and scary. What I want to do here is show you a temporary fix for that until you have time to get under there and check and make it fixed. I do recommend you fix it, but honestly, vehicles before this didn't have ABS. You'll be fine without it. I want to show you how to disable that. Let me start here. I'm going to close the door here. Now it is really hot. I'm going to start it up here and get you a look down. See if we can't get right in there on that. Turn that air off. When you turn your key on, you see the lights. You've got your brake light, and you had your ABS light over there. When I'm starting it, they come on and they go off. If you have both those lights on, you should not be driving your car at all. But the problem is, I am driving the car and it is not throwing any codes, but it is causing issues. I drove it down in the grass behind my house and slid about 20 feet down the hill without any braking, because it locked up one wheel, the other wheel kept going. I had no brakes, it wasn't stopping all the way. It was really interesting. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to at least drive it safer. There's a couple things I want to put these windows down. It's hot. To go over with about ABS brakes. All right, so where we're looking here, we're under the hood. We've got this fuse relay center. There's two little clips. There's one there, one there. Not easy to do, pulling it off with one hand, but I was able to pull it off. You do have this over here. In case you are missing stuff, you've got a 30 amp stop hazard. Don't see that one being used. You've got your 50 amp blower and your 60 amp ABS. You've got your ignition B, 50 amp. Ignition A, 40 amp, battery 50 amp, lighting 50 amp, auxiliary 30 amp, and then an auxiliary A 30 amp. So what we want to do is pull this 60 out right here. So right there, this 60 amp, yours may look a little different color. It really shouldn't, but it could. 60, 1, 2, 3, 4 over, pull that, and when we go to start the car, you should see your ABS light come on. Now it may not initially come on until you hit the brakes and it realizes the system is not engaging. So let's go ahead and put this fuse cap back on. Fuse box cover, I guess, is a more proper way. Get this all lined up. Push that down. I'm going to take this, something I recommend you do. Toss it in the middle there so you got it. Now this vehicle has been a good vehicle. It's had its issues. It's got a little surge now as we go down the highway. I think the AC needs to be recharged because the air goes to not cold, and I think we're just low on pressure. So we'll look into that in another video here. But let's start this up and let's see what we get here. And like I said, it may not kick in right away. I'm going to put that right there. Nothing worse than an annoying hum. Anti-lock brakes on, it's off, brake light's off. Oh, there we go. It didn't take it long for it to realize that something's wrong with the ABS, but let me just kind of see if we can make a nice little turn here. When I hit the brakes hard, it's actually stopping. I feel confident. So I'm going to drive around like this for maybe a week, 2 weeks. I'll pull my camera back out and I will update you and let you know if I've had any issues with being able to stop or anything like that. I really don't, because back in the day we used to pull them out of our cars and lock them up, have a lot of fun like that. We'd pull that ABS fuse and it never had any consequences against it other than you would make flat spots on your tires. So let me drive around like this for a little bit before I release this. Again, this is not something that's going to fix it, but it will get you home safely if you run into that ABS pulsating, which was extremely scary. I don't recommend driving around like this, but if you need to and you want to feel a little bit safer about getting home, this is definitely a good way to do it. So we'll see you in well, for you it'll be a couple seconds, but for me it'll be a couple weeks as I drive around and rack some miles up on them. Hey guys, welcome back to Burning Rubber. It's been a couple weeks. I'm just making my way to the shop. We're going to look into this. I have been through, gosh, it's pretty bumpy getting down here. We've had a couple bad rainstorms mess some stuff up. Now we're just stuck in a heat wave. So I have put about 3 tanks worth of gas in this, which is no small feat in and of itself. With it being a 42 gallon tank, 12 miles per gallon to 17, depending on what it does. This vehicle has performed better than I thought it would. Not one issue with the ABS, not one scare, and it's been a lot of miles. I mean, we've been probably about 1,200 miles, somewhere in that part. So it's had a lot of miles for chance, lots of different drivings. I've tried driving a little bit of off-road, through the yard, slow speed, high speed, highway, stop and go. Haven't had one issue. There is this still here. Since I pulled that fuse, we have had that ABS light on, which is, going to be on because I have the fuse. I pulled that fuse out, as you watched, and I've got it right here. So remember, it was that 60 up there. Hey guys, one of the things I wanted to talk about was ABS. I said I would before I showed you the fix, so I'm going to do it now. So anti-lock braking system, also known as ABS, is really sole purpose is to keep your vehicle's tires from locking up. It does help with improved braking under heavy loads, and it's really effective when it's loose or slick surfaces such as ice, gravel, something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to stop quicker by having ABS, but it definitely is one of those tools that can definitely help you more than hurt you unless your system's acting up. So a couple other things I want to talk about. The ABS does a self-check every time, kind of like I told you about. In this case, it took it a second before that light came on. It may flash a few times. That can be normal too. It can definitely come on when you start the car and then it disappears. The one thing is, when it does come on, that means there's something wrong. And if there's something wrong, the vehicle isn't going to work as it was designed or intended to from the manufacturer. With that being said, it is a feature you're going to want to maintain for proper vehicle function and if you ever want to sell your vehicle. But if the brake light and the ABS light are on, you definitely need to not drive that car. There is something seriously wrong with your braking system, and if you continue to use that, it could put you and others in danger of a crash, an injury, or even a death. So brakes are not something you want to mess with. This fix right here, for me, I actually feel more confident in the vehicle. I may not fix it, but I'm going to at least show you guys how to fix it down the road. Messing with your brakes is not something you want to do, and if you have both those brake lights on, I definitely suggest you need to get that checked ASAP, if not have it towed somewhere to get checked. So one of the things about how you can feel the ABS working is if you're driving, say in some gravel or even on some ice, if you're in an area that has that, is you'll feel some pulsation on the pedal. And I know this vehicle gives you a sound that's very similar to you'll feel it, and you'll feel it in your foot. Like your leg will literally go as the pedal's pulsating. Keep your foot on the brake pedal and let the ABS system do it. I know it sounds like something's braking, but that's how it's designed to work, especially in this, because that's the one I'm familiar with having any kind of ABS ever go off in this. Really, if you have ABS, all you need to do is concentrate on steering the vehicle and keeping your foot down until you come to a stop. In most situations, there's other times you may want to take your foot off, but ABS has really done away with that. With this as it is now, with the ABS light on and ABS disabled, you're definitely going to have to pay more attention, because one tire could grab, it sends you into a, let's say this tire grabs, and all of a sudden you're going into a spin. I mean, that's why they tell you to pump the brakes back in the day. For a lot of you viewers that are my age and older, they taught you that because ABS wasn't around. So just another little tip and trick there on what the ABS feels like and how you could potentially know, hey, my vehicle's doing what yours is doing. I don't have any lights on, no check engine, no ABS, nothing. What's going on? It could be just a messed up sensor on. So again, I just want to remind you, driving with your ABS light on is not the best decision you can make. If your brake light and your ABS light are on, you definitely need to get that fixed. Having either one of those lights on means your vehicle is not going to work like it was designed to, under heavy braking especially. You definitely need to, if both those lights are on, stop driving immediately. You're in a bad spot. You need to get that fixed and looked at. Have the entire braking system looked at by somebody who's certified, or at least take the time yourself to try and look into that. Part of me doesn't even want to fix the ABS because I think it's just going to get jacked up again. I did a little more research since the last video, and there's a good chance that with this vehicle being a little rustier, it very possibly could be a rust issue that's kind of separated it, just pushed up on that sensor just a little bit. It could be the sensors going bad, but I really do believe it's the sensor. It's not something that does it all the time, but when it did it, it was scary. So if you're in that situation, hopefully this will help you. Again, this is not a fix. I don't think you should drive like that all the time, but I might. Not having ABS, yeah, coming down into this gravel down here at the shop, coming down that hill over there, it can definitely, when I push the brakes, just kind of push the tires, the tire just goes right across the dirt. It's not a big deal to me. It doesn't really bother me. I'd rather have that, or my tires lock up and squeal, than have a feeling like powerless, like I don't have any brakes because my ABS is screwed up. So I bet down the road we'll fix it. I'll get in there, I'll take those off, I'll show you how to replace them or check them and then replace them, or just check and clean it, fix the surface and put them back in. So we'll do that in another video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If it helped you, give it a thumbs up. If it was just a waste of your time, I'll still take the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We've got a lot of new content coming up. I've got some mini bikes I want to review long term, and I've got the C10 we're going to start working on, and a few odds and ends on the Fox body, among other. I think every car I own has issues. So we'll see you on the next one.